When you hear the word fasting, your mind probably goes straight to, well, not eating, right? But what if fasting wasn't really about your stomach at all? What if it was about your mind? We're going to dive into an ancient text that frames fasting as a 24-hour blueprint for a complete mental reset. And trust me, it's way more interesting than just skipping lunch. So, where does all this come from? Our guide today is the Sutra on Fasting. And this isn't some dry, abstract text. It's actually a recording of a conversation, a fascinating dialogue between the Buddha and a really curious laywoman who came to him one day with a big question. So this woman, her name is Visakha, she approaches the Buddha all ready to start her practice, but she wants to do it right. She wants to understand the why behind it all. And her simple question, what are the three kinds of fasts? Well, that question opens up a teaching that basically redefines the whole idea. And this is where the Buddha starts to break it all down. He makes it crystal clear right from the get-go that, hey, not all fasts are the same. In fact, some of them are kind of worthless, while one of them has immeasurable value. Here's the core idea, the absolute game changer. The outward act of not eating, it means almost nothing. What really matters, what makes all the difference, is your intention. It's about what your mind is actually doing while you're fasting. Is it pure, or is it still stuck on all your usual worldly worries? Okay, so get this. The Buddha lays out three types. First, he talks about the herdsman's fast. The whole time the herdsman is fasting, he's just thinking, where am I going to find better grass for my cows tomorrow? His mind is all about future profit. Then there's the Jain fast. This is where someone might say, okay, for today, I own nothing. But in the back of their mind, they're just waiting to get all their stuff back tomorrow. It's just for show. The Buddha says both of these get you very little. But then there's the third one, the Buddhist fast. This one is all about purifying your mind, right here, right now. And that, he says, is the one with the real power. All right, so if the goal is purifying your mind, what do you actually do? How does this work in practice over a 24-hour period? The answer is a set of guidelines called the 8 precepts. And you gotta understand, this is not a list of restrictive don'ts. It's not about what you can't do. Think of it more like a 24-hour training camp for your mind. Each one of these precepts is designed to actively help you build up these mental muscles of compassion, of simplicity, and of clarity. So for one day and one night, the training begins. Number 1, you don't just avoid harming. You actively grow your compassion for everything alive. Number 2, you don't just not steal. You actually practice being generous. Then you have 3 and 4, which are all about integrity, no sexual activity to build focus, and a real commitment to speaking truthfully and sincerely. And the list keeps going. Number 5, no intoxicants, because you want to keep your mind totally clear, totally aware. 6 is a big one. No entertainment, no fancy perfumes or jewelry. This is all about finding happiness in simplicity. 7, no big luxurious beds, a practice in humility. And finally, number 8, the one we all think of, no food after midday. This is about practicing discipline and moderation. Okay, so those 8 precepts, that's the what of the practice. But then the Buddha gets into the how, the real engine that drives this whole mental transformation. These are the 5 mindful remembrances, the exercises you do in your mind all day long. Because remember, we're going way beyond just following rules here. This is an active, deep mental house cleaning. And I gotta say, the way the text describes this part is just beautiful. It uses these amazing, vivid metaphors to show you exactly how this cleansing feels. So, first up, you remember the Buddha. You bring to mind his wisdom, his compassion. Doing this, the sutra says, starts to clear out all the mental junk, like ignorance and anger. And the metaphor is so good, it's like washing your head, the highest part of you, to get rid of all the dirt. It's about purifying your thoughts at the very source. Next, you remember the Dharma, the teachings themselves. You reflect on the truths that bring clarity. And the metaphor for this one? It's like taking a full bath, washing your entire body, and rinsing away all the impurities of confusion and wrong ideas. Third, you bring to mind the Sangha, the community of dedicated practitioners. You think about their virtue. And check out this metaphor. It's like washing your clothes with a really powerful soap, something like pure ash that can get out even the most stubborn stains of negativity. It's about connecting to a source of purity. And then, number 4, you turn your focus inward. You remember your own commitment to the precepts you're following for that day. You reflect on the purity of your own actions. The metaphor for this is just perfect. It's like polishing a mirror until it's so clear and bright that it reflects everything perfectly. That's a clear conscience. And the last one, number 5, is remembering heaven. But hold on, it's not what you might think. It's not about a place, it's about motivation. You remember the joyful, happy states of mind that naturally come from living a good life. It keeps you inspired. The metaphor here is a precious jewel that you keep polished and bright, reminding you of the radiant potential of your own mind. So we have the what, the 8 precepts, we have the how, the 5 remembrances, but that leaves one huge question. Why? Why go through all this? What's the payoff? Well, the answer the text gives is, frankly, it's staggering. The Buddha gives Visakha an analogy that is just mind-blowing. He says to imagine all the wealth of the 16 most powerful nations on Earth, all their gold, all their jewels, all their treasures combined, all of that, compared to the merit you gain from one single day of this truth fast, is basically nothing. Just let that sink in for a second. All that worldly power, all that unimaginable fortune is like a single bean. The value of purifying your mind for just 24 hours is, in this view, infinitely greater than any material wealth you could ever hope to pile up. And if that wasn't enough, the text then gets into these heavenly timescales that are just astronomical. I mean, look at this. A single day and night in the first heaven is equal to 50 of our years. And the lifespans there last millions of years. And as you go up, it gets into the billions of years. The whole point is to show that this one-day practice is connected to a potential for happiness and peace that is just beyond our normal comprehension. So, what about Visakha, the woman who started this whole conversation? How does she react? She is completely filled with joy. She gets it. She doesn't hesitate for a second. She immediately understands the incredible value of what she's just learned and commits right then and there to do this practice for the rest of her life. And that really brings it all back home to us, doesn't it? This ancient text isn't just a dusty old story. It's a practical guide. It's an invitation. And it leaves us all with one simple but really powerful question to think about. What could just one day of living with this kind of intention truly change for you?